Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the last stand for this nonsense. The final mission, means to an end. We just get right into it. This is the final dual-screen map of the entire game, and they're actually going to force us to deal with the second front this time. So we have to do it. We have to destroy those 3 black crystals on the top screen in order to enable us to damage the final boss, the giant Oozium. Seriously, a giant blob. That's all you could come up with? Well, anyways, it has 3 weak points. You can see them here. They take as much damage as the mini cannons did. But to destroy them, you gotta get rid of the black crystals. And Kindle's on the top front. She has only pre-deployed and no bases to work with. And I've got all of this money on the second front. There's silos, there's comm towers, there's everything you could possibly want or need. And on the bottom front, these 5 pre-deployed mechs are going to be annoying, but as you can see, it's a simple matter to capture a bunch of stuff, fight off some Oozium, and then start building bombers and destroy these weak points. Yeah. And the map is almost nothing but plains, just lots and lots of plains. That's all they could come up with. No giant fortress like Advance Wars 2, no epic mountain range like Advance Wars 1. Ex Machina is going to be very bad here because it's very easy to just draw it away from your main forces, just have a bunch of expensive units down here. Not exactly a happy final map. They could have done a lot better, I would say. So we rolled some interesting COs here. On the bottom front, it's going to be Andy, the protagonist of the previous 2 Advance Wars games, so that's pretty nice. And on the top front, you'll never guess who I rolled. Hachi! Yes. We finally get to see him in action. He's going to be on the top front. He's going to have all those cities available to build from, and it's going to be crazy, and it's going to be fun. Let's give them their skills right away. Andy rolled 3 penalties. I can't believe that. I'm just now being reminded of the fact that I have to play Andy with 3 penalties. Alright, so the first 2 are for defense. Or should they be for defense? Oh, I could take this. I'm not going to use any stealths. Let's see, he rolled 7, 6, and 2 2s. Alright, 7, 6, and a 2. Indirect defense, because Von Bolt is never using indirects on this map. Yes, I'm metagaming the skill penalties one final time. Yes, I know. And I will give him better defense. Because we're going to need that. And Hachi rolled no penalties, so I don't need to... I just need to select him and select skills. 5, 8, 8, and 9. Not the best skills you could have rolled. So I'll give him Pathfinder. Prairie Dog's not that good. 2 8s. He'll want... I guess he'll want better aircraft and ships, to be honest, because those are the toughest fronts to deal with. And I'll give him a boost to the comm tower effect, which is something you can do. So yeah, here it is, the final map. Means to an end. Let's begin. I guess I'm going to spend most of it talking about how this playthrough has gone as I build a bunch of infantry and hope that the mechs don't destroy all of my guys. Probably could have built mechs, but whatever. We need to capture stuff around this area right away. We have time, though, because it's, for whatever reason, they actually don't let you control the second front at all. Like, they don't do that for the aerial second fronts, but they do for stuff like the map with Grimm and Sensei and such. So you're not allowed to control anything that's happening. You just have to watch as Hachi fruitlessly wastes those silos on units that are going to get repaired by the Black Crystal anyways, because those are still functional in case he didn't realize it. There's a black bomb on the second front as well, so we'll see what Kindle does. Yeah, that was pretty much expected. Better to deal with it now, I suppose. You don't really need to send stuff up there because there's plenty of bases for Hachi to build from anyways. But yeah, not exactly the greatest last stand in the world. So for these first few turns, you're basically just going to be capturing stuff and fighting off the mechs. Nice to end this with Andy's theme, though. That's pretty good. So yeah, I'm building some mechs. They'll be able to fight off the enemy mechs better. And these Oozium, it's very easy to dance around them. on certain turns, the weak spots will actually generate more Uzium, which you'd think, you know, I don't know how much of a threat that is. It's really not that big a deal unless you, like, attack the weak points directly right before they're about to spawn more Uzium. But you're not really in any danger of that happening. Well, it is possible to know when they spawn. There's actually well, Hachi's handling this really poorly, actually. But his power is going to fill up really quickly. Of course, Kindle's going to Urban Blight him as well. Another annoying factor of this mission, and you can't even do anything about it because you're not allowed to control that part of the screen. But as soon as Hachi starts getting his powers, he will be able to build dozens of units if his AI so desires it. Let's get rid of this and this. Alright, some more mechs. I should have built mechs on the first turn. And we'll probably want a T-copter because there's a mountain range down here with a bunch of infantry capturing stuff. If Von Bolt gets enough money down there, then he will become actually threatening, because the Uzium aren't the real threat, let's be honest. It's him possibly capturing everything down there, and then you have to deal with, like, anti-airs and other stuff that will hurt your bombers more and more. And we're gonna get a merchant union right here. That's what it's called, right? I always forget the name of this power. Merchant union, yes. So for half price, he can build out of any city he wants. And he's probably going to want to build out of the airports, though, to get another fighter. Yeah, there he goes. That's a lot of units, though. It's nice. So as we watch Kindle just wreck him for a little while, I suppose the obvious question is, has all of this been worth it? I mean, this was, you know, going into this, I didn't really know what to expect from Advance Wars DS with randomized stuff. I mean, you know, I knew that Advance Wars DS was a lot easier than the other games in this series because on hard mode you're allowed to pick any CO you want. So the idea was that by randomizing skills and COs, you know, it would create something new. A new experience, basically. And there have been some weird moments, I'll admit, but to be totally honest, like, I don't need this airport right away, I'll just fire at it. But, you know, like, throughout, you know, like, it's been almost a recurring gag. I would hype up a mission, reveal what had been rolled, or rolled the COs, and then it would turn out to be not that actual difficult. I can't speak. It would turn out to not actually be that difficult. There, that's the correct grammar. Because, you know, you could pick random COs and skills, and Advance Wars DS is still not that difficult on hard mode. I think some of the normal mode maps might be better balanced. And I get the feeling that for normal mode, they wanted to have this. Like, on normal mode, obviously, they want to ease in the new players, but on the hard mode, like, I don't know what happened. Like, even Crystal Calamity. I got Crystal Calamity on the first try. That just didn't happen when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, this was the first Advance Wars I had actually played, so of course I was going to mess that one up a little bit. And get stuck. But now that I know how defense works, now that I know that you can, do stuff like select Kanbei with maximal defensive skills. You know, this game isn't really that difficult to me anymore. But back then it was. Should I head south or should I go north and try to get one of those bases, actually? Because, you know, there's not going to be a lot of units coming from the bases. I think I'll try and get, like, a comm tower or something, I don't know. Alright, so what should I do now? Probably APCs. Probably time for APCs. Gotta get something up there. And probably tanks too, because there's some recons coming in. But we've also got to deal with the Uzium. Yeah, Uzium are just not that impressive a gimmick unit. Like, Advance Wars DS has a lot of gimmicks that just don't work. Black crystals aren't that threatening because they're still destructible targets. Uzium aren't that threatening because even if they kill something in one hit, they still only move one tile. How are you going to make it threatening if they only move one tile? To heck with this, thank you, Hachi. Like, look at this final map. There are 2 bases near the weak points that you're supposed to destroy. I hope Hachi defends his comm tower there. So yeah, the other annoying thing about this map is that with regards to the second front, he's going to lose the comm tower. I can't believe it. With regards to the second front, you still have to kind of wait for the AI to actually bother destroying the crystals, because even if you route Kindle here, it's still not over. Speaking of which, dual screen maps, another gimmick that doesn't really work in my opinion. Like, half the time you basically ignore the second front, and the other half, losing it doesn't matter anyways. There are some dual screen maps in War Room mode, and those... like, you just, again, it doesn't matter whether the AI is controlling it or not, because you can ignore the second front completely anyways. Von Bolt's getting an Ex Machina for sure after this. Look at how much damage I'm doing to him. Let's see if I can at least try and get up there. Maybe I'll be able to unload onto that base. I don't know for sure. The mech is probably too close anyways. And of course I don't need to tell people that the tag breaks and the skill system are all very seriously overpowered. Like, creating them wasn't really a bad thing because I like playing around with customizable stuff. This is a very customizable game. Oh, whoops, I swapped. But yeah. Alright, so Uzium spawned on like turn 6. I think it's every 6 turns is when they come up. He'll be ready for an Ex Machina on the next turn, I'd wager. I can't even take those bases anyways because the Uzium are right in front of it. Hachi, what are you doing? You can do better than this. Well, one of the... Oh, she's gonna Urban Blight again. One of the crystals should be destroyed as soon as Hachi gets his stuff together. Well, now Kindle can't recapture anything, so... kudos to her. I'm gonna Hyper Upgrade. Because I've got plenty of damaged units, and I want the extra movement, and the firepower. Because these Uzium are moving on to the defensible terrain. So we probably want some extra firepower to deal with that. The comm tower is the only thing I really want to cap down there. Do we want to destroy this Uzium? I guess I'll bother destroying the Uzium. Von Bolt's almost got Ex Machina anyways. Will this finish it? Nope. Use this instead. By the way, these bases are next to pipes. You actually could use a pipe runner and have it be the one to destroy the weak point on the left if you wanted. Like, you could have put a port and some C on the right here, and maybe encourage a little Navy unit use, but, I guess not. Like, just a wide open plane. What were they thinking? Well, I know what they were thinking, actually. They wanted you to use Jake and Rachel for the final mission. But, like, there's dozens of other COs that the player could pick. In fact, the CO selection, even on normal mode, like, being able to use people like Eagle and Grit, etc., it just makes the maps too easy. You can pick, like, busted COs like that. Right or left? Right, it is. There's no units up there. I'll take an infantry up there instead of a mech. Oh, Oh, the mech was actually repaired. Alright, so Andy's power. I didn't know that Andy's power would actually repair stuff that's in transporters. Like, it seems so obvious, but that's actually not how it works. It actually does repair units inside transporters. Like, mass damage powers don't damage units inside transporters, but I guess Andy's power does. Repairs them anyways. Alright, Ex Machina incoming. I hope that tank and B-copter are enough to distract it. I'm also not sure what the idea behind Von Bolt was. Oh, it went for mostly infantry? That's lame. His power's lame. Alright, so that anti-air on the left is what part of what I was afraid of happening. If he builds too many anti-air units, it's going to be difficult to just throw a bunch of bombers at him. But look at what he did on the right! He's got a single infantry using it at the base as a repair point, so he can't spawn any more units from it. Guys, this is what we call... what do we call it? We call it bad AI. So if I can get the Uzium away from the base, somehow, then I'll just be able to just, like, destroy the infantry and then start capturing, and then there will be nothing he can do. So let's try putting it here. See if that gets the Uzium to move right. I wanted to move right, not down. And this is the closest unit, so if my theory on Uzium AI is correct, that should be enough. Just going through some motions. I want the Uzium to get away from the base before I start capturing. I guess I'll send the T-copter back for another foot soldier. You know, a good thing about Advanced Wars DS is the AI improved somewhat. They're not perfect, but they did improve. Like, let it not be said that I don't give credit where it's due. The AI improvements are good in this game. The way that the power charges now is not so good for campaign and war room, but oh, nice job. You made it take 3 turns instead of 2 to capture, and then a tank just comes out anyways. So if we play this very carefully, we might be able to... middle crystal is destroyed, so we can actually destroy the middle weak point now, but I was anticipating that the right weak point would go down first. It's probably going to take a while to destroy it with just B-copters. We don't have money for bombers quite yet. Hachi, why did you build a black bomb? There's no reason for that. Alright, I'm going to see how much damage this does. What turn are we on? I can't really tell what turn we're on. I have to go into the intel menu. Day 9. So if I'm right that they spawn Uzium every 6 days, we have a couple of turns. I could probably have this weak point destroyed by then. And now that our units are unfrozen... Oh, I should have captured the comm tower first. Silly me. Maybe that'll reduce it from 4 turns that I need to 3 turns. That'll be nice. This anti-air is going in completely the wrong direction. It should be going north if it wants to defend these weak points. So yeah, this is hard mode, and there's not even that many Uzium. Are you guys impressed with this yet? This is gonna take like 40 minutes, I think, and then we have to watch the credits. And there's probably a bonus scene for beating this on the hard mode. Yeah. There's a bomber. And I think that's good for this turn. Alright, that tank's not attacking at all, which is nice. Oh, anti-airs. Eventually, the right weak point should be open to attack. Now, this Urban Blight is going to make it take a little longer, though. Yeah, I was about to say it didn't affect the Black Bomb. What's going on? The Black Bomb isn't on a city. Of course it didn't affect it. Yeah, Von Bolt's starting to get a lot more money out there now. So we should probably hurry this up. Right, so where can this thing go? Go probably here, because we're gonna work on this one next. Destroy that. And I want to destroy this anti-air by any means necessary, so what I'm going to do is attack here. The mech is going to have to take one for the team here and get eaten. No way to block the base. Can I destroy this Uzium with these units? Let's see here. Oh, now that I've got the comm tower, this is... Nope. I'm gonna lose another unit. Sad face. Let's just stick to B-copters, and I want some deterrents for those anti-airs. Alright, that's fine. I could probably hyper-repair on the next turn. I could use the extra, well, not anymore. Never mind that. Alright, Hachi, you can do it. I believe in you. Don't do anything dumb. Well, that was pretty dumb. Well, as long as the, battleship gets destroyed. It's not going to get destroyed. It's going to get healed by the crystal. And what is he doing? He needs to get rid of the subs so that his battleship doesn't get destroyed. Nice. Like, you just have to wait for him to send his bombers over to the left. No real way to get around that. What turn are we on? Day 11. So next turn is when the Uzium start spawning. He doesn't have... He hasn't destroyed the crystal yet, so he can't attack it quite yet. But eventually, though... Oh, the bomber is actually able to... Okay, then. Maybe the Uzium will move on to the base. That would make sense. Actually, let's make it move on to the base. It has to destroy a unit if it can. And then on the next turn, we could just, like, go hog wild with all of our other units. I can't believe I'm about to abuse Uzium AI. If this works, of course. Always a chance it could just, like, not work. And I want that anti-air to come in closer, and then we'll destroy it. I don't like what that APC is up to. Can the anti-air reach this airport? No. Okay. Battlecopter time. Yep, it moved onto the base. Ah, Uzium. A missile? You built a missile? Von Bolt. Von Bolt. What are you doing? Alright, second weak point is down. And he's gonna barter for some more units. Hopefully lots of bombers. A sub even would do it. No, a battleship, why not? Battleships and B-copters. Wow, it's rather telling when the AI handles the Navy part of it the worst. Am I right? One weak point down, we have to wait. Well, actually, we don't have to wait for the second one to be destroyed. We could do it right now. 45, wow. There's a lot of defense on this thing. How's the B-Copter doing so much but the bomber so little? That's very, very strange. Alright, my blundering is probably going to cause me to not be able to destroy this. No, this should do it though. Next turn I start capturing it. I think he's ready for a Ex Machina. He probably should be. And for some reason, those weak points resist bomber damage. I have no idea how that happened. This is going to be tricky, though, because an Uzium is going to spawn. It's going to eat the B-Copter. And start capturing some more with these guys. Misclicked and hit wait instead. Oh well, that's not a big deal. I lost one capture turn. What do I do? Oh no, Ex Machina is going to hit the bomber. Oh boy. Alright, so this is going to get a little bit more tricky than I imagined. Yeah, there it goes. It didn't hit the bomber! Von Bolt, what are you doing? The thing is bearing down on your weak point. Well, I guess he doesn't decide where it goes. Finally, the cruiser destroys the sub. Yes. Alright, just a little bit more time. Another black bomb? Come on, Hachi. I guess putting him up here was a bad idea after all. I should have put Andy up here. At least the repair powers would have been nice. Speaking of repair powers, I could, well, I guess I have to, I guess I have to allow the APC to get eaten here. Unless I have it eat a B-Copter. I guess I'll just throw away a few units here. Oh, can the bomber actually do enough? Maybe with a super it could do enough, unless I get exceedingly lucky. And I don't really want to chance that quite yet. I want the Uzium to get away from the weak point first. And there's still the matter of the other weak point on the left. I haven't really put many of my forces up there yet. And this T-Copter is out of fuel. It'd be embarrassing if it got destroyed by running out of fuel. Alright, leave everything as it is for now. On the next turn, I'm definitely hyper-upgrading on the next turn. Yeah, he's gonna have so many anti-airs on the left side, I bet. Yet again, Hachi fails to destroy that battleship, and it's going to get repaired by the crystal. It's a good thing there's basically nothing Kindle can do besides fire Urban Blight over and over again. This is still taking way too long. I've got parts to spare. Yeah, it's a shame Andy doesn't join you in the last couple of missions, but then that would be weird having Andy face off against Clone Andy yet again. But then again, any other CO could have been cloned. Alright, I'll take the bomber and attack the weak point. Because the rest of the units are going to attack this Uzium. Now I've got this base under control. one-shot it. Yes! That doesn't really force him to build another... Oop. I am not getting shot down by a missile. That was almost a very big oopsie. So yes, unlike in Advance Wars 2, you cannot really destroy all of their infantry and then watch as they build nothing but foot soldiers. It doesn't work that way. And the next turn we'll have the second weak point dealt with, which is really amusing, because, again, on the bottom front, Andy has taken down 2 of the weak points, and it's Hachi who's being dumb and taking forever to get rid of this final crystal. It's a good thing those shoals are there. His Mega Tank will be able to reach the crystal. So there's really only one more turn left, and then we can just dual strike our way to victory. So yes, I hope I haven't bored people to sleep throughout this playthrough, but I can imagine that's what most of the missions have done, just because, you know, even if you randomize the skills and COs, this is still Advance Wars DS. There are still so many broken tactics. It doesn't matter who you're playing as, tag breaks are still crazy. And I suppose the only question left to answer after that is, do I go and play Days of Ruin after that? Because, like, the only reason I was able to, like, I would normally not do a normal playthrough of Advance Wars DS with me choosing all of the skills and COs, because that would cause me to just basically choose Kanbei and Sonya over and over, because that's the optimal strategy. You might as well do it. It's the brain-dead strategy, to be honest. But in Days of Ruin, there's no such thing, and there's not even a hard mode. And I wouldn't want to bore people with the first half of the maps all being tutorial missions, so I don't really know what I would do for Advance Wars Days of Ruin. I mean, it makes sense to play it. It's the only Advance Wars game remaining after this. You know, I've been thinking I could probably show off a couple maps from the pre-Advance Wars games, like Game Boy Wars 2. I've played a surprising amount of Game Boy Wars 2, and I don't know why. Just because it's really easy to exploit the AI in that game. No, don't block the weak point! What happens if an Uzium decides to spawn on top of that unit? Does it just not happen? Would it get destroyed? Even if it's a black hole unit? Well, anyways, we'll never know now, because we're about to get a dual strike. Someone should experiment with that, though. Replay this mission and find out for yourself. Like, I'll even save over a separate file. Alright, Hyper Upgrade is active. You know, optimally I should probably have tagged in Hachi first, but whatever. Can even take a shot at it. 40 damage. Wow. Let's get rid of this Uzium too. Why not? Does Bomber get over there in time? Probably not. But only one thing is allowed to attack it at a time anyways. I guess if I had sent an indirect all the way up there, but that would have taken a long time. But I definitely want to do something about Ex Machina, because Von Bolt has it ready. And never mind, it doesn't matter anyways. I do just enough damage with a Bomber and a Super and whatever skills Hachi had at that moment. So it's over. Advanced Wars DS Hard Campaign Randomized Skills and COs is completed. Almost an S rank. Now all that's left is to watch the ending, and we'll see what the final score for the average over the course of the game is. And all of the turn counts, too. Those are going to be really interesting, I think. Hard campaign clear. The war is over until Days of Ruin. Black Hole has been utterly defeated, and their remaining troops scattered. Yes, yes, we know. And Drake, too. We did use Drake once, right? Rachel's leadership... I don't really see it. My dear sensei? What? What do you mean, my dear sensei? You were in like 6 missions, Sonya. Oh boy, did they. If you're saying that to Sasha in particular. He should really be more confident in this game, I would say. Colon. Or whatever. Jake did nothing important. Oh yeah, Huck, in the plot, he, like, steals Von Bolt's chair and then explodes, and everyone thinks he's dead, I guess, but he's not really dead, because he's using the chair to fix Omega Land and a bunch of plot stuff. I guess they have left the door open for more stuff happening with Kindle and Hawk if they want to bring them back for Advance Wars 5. If they decide to make that, of course. Everyone should buy the Switch Advance Wars to make sure that they know that it will be worth their time to make Advance Wars 5, because it would be good for everybody if they did that. But no. To be honest, actually, like, only buy the Advance Wars remake if you want it. That should go without saying. But I am hoping it does well. That's what I'm hoping. It needs to do well, it needs to be a good game, it needs to be a good remake. But it has a chance, and that's more than I could have hoped for. Come on, you're older by, like, maybe a year. And there's this final scene with Jake and Sasha. It should really be Rachel up here. Because, you know, those two are the obvious, like, couple in this game, I guess. You did all of that for a view from a hill, Jake. And not the lives, the environment. You didn't do it for any of that. Just the view on this hill. Of course, I'm taking what he said literally. We know he really means, like, this and every other environmental beauty like it. Flowers. You know what flower I bet those are? I bet those are Catalia Isabellas. You know, I think that would be, like, you know, it would be stupid, but it would be thematic, I guess. Word up, Jake. End it with that. Oh, and these guys, too. You guys actually like this sandy environment? You know, I don't get you guys. You basically did all of this so Von Bolt and Kindle could be immortal. Were you two getting anything out of this deal, too? Oh, well. They probably won't be in the next game. They'll have some sort of weird replacements, just like with Flak and Adder. And here we go, the final roll. 14 days on mission 1. Oh boy. I'm not crying because it's over, I swear. I just have the sniffles, you guys. I wouldn't be crying over this. You know, I tend to get a stuffy nose whenever I do this for too long. I've actually recorded 2 missions, one right after the other. So that's like an hour and a half of straight talking so far. For some reason that causes some congestion. It's very weird. These are some low turn counts. Well, they're not that low. Like 10, 15 isn't really a low turn count. That's pretty low though. 4 days, I did not know. Like, I did not remember. 6 days on Black Boats Ahoy. This is where things are getting... Like, you can see... Look at how low this is. Like, one would expect hard mode to take longer than 6 turns. And I'm still getting S rank after S rank after S rank. This map was just completely exploitable. I have no idea what they were thinking. This one, too. Like, you just get a dual strike and that's it. This is what I was talking about with Advance Wars DS level design. Like, every exploit that I've managed to run, like, that should tell you what you've got to be careful of when you are designing levels for Advance Wars. As someone who, like, I'll be totally honest, as someone who has designed 2 ROM hacks, 4 days for Healing Touch, I am just... As someone who has designed 2 campaigns for ROM hacks of Advance Wars 2, I know how it feels when someone does something you don't expect and they manage to, like, clear a map in a very short amount of time with an S rank. But, like, you've got to guard against the obvious exploits to the best of your ability in whatever time frame you have to actually make your game, because I have as much time as I want to make a ROM hack. These guys, obviously they have a release window they need to worry about. And 12 turns, that's still pretty low for this, I would say. 16 is about average for means to an end, like, no matter what you're doing. And, well, we have the credits, then we'll have the grand total. Who worked on this game? I'm actually curious. Like, I don't know the full staff of Advance Wars DS, so I actually want to know who... Alright, Toru Narihiro, I believe he's been with Advance Wars since the first one on GBA. And he's, wait, he was director for Advance Wars 1. 2 and DS have different directors, I think. Okay. That would explain a lot, because I think Advance Wars 1 is the best out of the first 3. And probably the best in the whole series, with Days of Ruin right behind it. For multiplayer, you definitely want to play either Dual Strike or Days of Ruin. That's another thing. The changes to the CO system, they work in multiplayer. Oh, scenario by Kohei Maeda. I know everyone hates that guy now because somebody decided to make a hit piece against him. And character designer, same as always, Ryo Hirata, probably named Andy after himself. Right, so I was talking about something and I've completely lost my train of thought after just getting distracted one time. Ah yes, Dual Strike is actually, like, good for multiplayer, I would say. You just have to set up a tier list and you have to play on certain kinds of maps and you have to... Yeah, 99% of the multiplayer environment is created by the player base because, to be honest, these developers, they don't know about first turn advantage, they don't know about what makes a CO good, none of that stuff. They still allowed power of money in Dual Strike without nerfing it at all. They still allowed Hachi, but I think Hachi's a bonus CO, so that doesn't really matter. Excuse me. They also allowed Rachel to be used in campaign, whereas Rachel is the kind of character that would normally be a bonus CO, like with Nell. Rich Richardson. There's a dev named Rich Richardson. That's so... I'm not gonna make fun of his name. Seriously, though. Either that's a nickname or his parents, decided to make a joke. I don't know. Moving on. Yeah. The Super Mario Club. I still don't know what those guys are all about. I guess they're game testers. Like, they should have caught on to a lot if that's the case. Guys, maybe the tag powers are overpowered. I think you might want to do something about that. Yeah, they're probably just interested in bug fixes. In which case, they should have found the blanky bug. I haven't told anyone about the blanky bug yet. But basically, there's a way to make the first CO a blank CO, which is basically a glitch CO. It's like Missing Number from Pokemon, only like not as broken and definitely not as dangerous. It'll just freeze the game when you beat the map. Or switch COs. Or do anything that forces the game to display a graphic. Come to think of it, I wonder what Blanky's stats are. They're probably the same as Andy. Ah yes, and shoutouts to Iwata as always. Some people might not remember everything you did for Nintendo, but I still will. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And that's all of it. That is Advance Wars DS completed with randomized skills and COs. It probably wasn't that much more interesting than a regular playthrough of the game, but hey, I still got an S rank. So that's something. And I unlocked no wallpaper because this save has all the wallpaper unlocked already. But my top 3 COs were, oddly enough, Adder, Andy, and Max. With Max being used 5 times and the other 2 being used 6 times. So that's somewhat interesting as well. I'm going to save over a different file. And thanks for watching, everybody.